hello, everybody. Come on in. There's a lot going on in the world today, and we want to get right to it. And today's exciting. Evan speaks today, so it's always good when Evan speaks. I'm going to give a few more minutes for people to come on, and we're going to get right into it. I know that people are out protesting today. So, hey, everybody's doing something, which is awesome. All right, it's 2:01, and I try to respect your time because I know there's other protests. Even Evan has one to go to later. So, this is week 6. Or it's our 6th intention, kindness and gratitude. Next week, we're going to talk about rest and sleep. And I believe we will set up to do a bonus one after that to sort of tie everything together if people are up to it. But I think we'll make ourselves available. So let's talk about where we are right now. We've done the 10 days. Hopefully you have. We've done it corporally. I've done some meditations. We've invited other people to attend this because of our guest speaker, Evan. So we may have some people on the line that we're not used to seeing. We'll see how that goes. It's his show today. So I said, if you want to invite some people or family or whatever, feel free to. Okay, but the world is upside down right now. This, I'm telling you, I do a happy hour on Fridays on Facebook Live, and we had a good time. Because what we're talking about now is part of this whole conversation. How do you align your mind, body, spirit? That's what Remarkable Wellness is. That's what we're doing right now. Everyone on this call, for the most part, said they either wanted to find purpose and or wanted to lose weight. If you're not finding purpose, if you're not using the tools that you have already been exposed to before May 25th to help you cope with the anger, exhaustion, frustration that's going on now, you're missing an opportunity. These things, these 7 intentions that we've been talking about are practical. It's a spiritual technology, practical tools to use in your everyday life that will transform you and elevate you so that you can overcome any situation that comes before you. That is the point. And now we've been hit with a very big situation. Not that we weren't already living in it as a people, but now it is heightened to a point that this is just an entirely new era in time. And it's not actually all that new, right? We've had people go through generations of this. My parents went through this. Their parents went through this. I want everyone, the one thing I want to leave you with, I'm going to just talk for a few minutes before I introduce Evan to give his talk. The one thing that I want to leave you with is to watch your language. We're all participating in this conversation. We live my life. It's not my life, it's life. My life intersects with yours. It intersects with people we agree with or don't agree with. We've been talking about one of the understandings is the law of attraction. What you give, you receive. If you're angry, which who can help but not be angry, this is your chance to consciously, with the tools and with the things we've been doing the last 6-7 weeks, is to use the things, meditation, go get a run in, go exercise, go sweat some of it out. Because we know that one of the understandings is what you give, you receive. If you're putting out hatred and frustration and burning, it's going to come back to you. It's the law. You may feel justified, but in the spirit and the law of the universe and the energy, the higher consciousness we've been talking about, it does not work that way. That is why most people don't understand these concepts and don't understand why they can't dig themselves out of depression, or why the world is so, like they're a victim. When you're doing this, you're not a victim anymore. So I'm excited. I said, turn that exhaustion into exhilaration. Turn that anger into activism. Remember, we said what's true is also not true. It's just on the other side of the coin. You have a choice. This is a mindset shifting so that you can rise above and be better than, not in a way that, you're below me and I'm better than you. It is that you're better than you used to be. You're raising your higher consciousness. You're using your tools. You're aligning with your inner spirit, and you know that positivity and service will get you back more than negativity. But if you want to sit in your negativity, then, it's all a choice. But please, it is not an accident that you're doing this wellness journey in the middle of this crisis. We said last week, I hope you wrote it down if you didn't write it down this week. There is a difference between pain and suffering. It is painful when someone does harm to you, when someone doesn't understand you, when injustice is done. It hurt, you feel it. Like, if someone cuts you, it's painful. But suffering is a choice. And so many people suffer. Oh, woe is me. Why are they doing it to me? That's a choice. If you want to lean into the negativity versus saying, that job wasn't for me because there's a better one coming. I'm choosing to see that this explosion, this ignition, this flame that's happening now, is we're going to get past this and we're going to be better for it. Change only comes with challenge. That's what this journey is about. We're challenging ourselves. We're going within. We're looking for purpose where maybe we didn't feel we didn't really know what it was. We're overcoming death and losses. People are going to die as surely as you live. And so, yes, it's painful. Accept it, breathe into it, take a week, cry your eyes out, go for a run, sit in silence, be alone, don't let nobody, you don't want to talk to anybody, all respectable, understandable, human, and normal. But now you have tools to say, why am I only focusing on that hole that the person left instead of focusing on the love and the life that person gave me and taught me and what I'm learning? We're all learning from George Floyd right now. God bless his soul. God bless all of them who have layered on, had to layer. It couldn't just be one. We had centuries. So this is an amazing time. I just want to make sure I'm going to try to moderate today. Usually that's Evan's job. So I'm going to say forgive me in advance for any flubs I have. But please watch your language, turn your energy. I even said it's 100% acceptable not to protest. Protest, in fact, means going against something that you have a problem with or you don't believe in. In fact, that is the definition. But the connotation of the word is negative. I'm protesting. Don't protest. Support. Support a cause. You see the difference in that energy? I'm not a protester. I'm an activist. Start changing. You're an activist now. Be an activist, not a protester. It's that simple. Let other people do what they're going to do. Participate in the way you're going to show up. I have not gone out on the street yet, but I have talked to a lot of people. I have talked to hundreds of people at companies now that are trying to help their employees. And here's my plug. If your company needs somebody who needs something holistic, because this stuff about counting your steps and calories, it doesn't do it. This is enlightenment. This is transformation. This is what takes you to the next level in an accelerated way. Wisdom, ancient philosophers, religious leaders, prophets throughout the centuries have been talking about keeping your eye on the positive. You are what you think. Keep your eye on me. Be the light. These aren't new things that we're talking about, but we're employing them in our lives. We're having the confidence to do these things. And now we've been given a test. And that's what it typically happens. Usually it's a tragedy. that brings someone to the light, or synchronicity, intervention. Maybe some of you just came to this. And so I'm going to introduce Evan in a minute, because I think for me, I feel, we're all good people and we try to be kind and fair and go to whatever churches or halls or mosques that we go to. But it's really different when you experience a tragedy and it takes you there faster, because you don't have anything else to hold on to. Like nothing is real. You don't have anything but the spirit or your higher power to grab onto, and it takes you faster, quicker to the next level. And so that, I think, is what has really propelled me, and certainly Evan at his young age, to be able to know and know what we're talking about to help everyone else. So that's the purpose piece. That's just bringing us all back up to speed from where we've been. And there was a second piece. I don't want to ignore it just because it's still important. You got to do your inner work, your mind, body, spirit alignment. If losing weight was your intention, it's still important. I hope you are still staying with it. We still have time. This journey doesn't even end at the last day of this journey. Your life journey has started. So I set the intention to lose weight because you wanted to lose weight. And I've lost, at my best, I lost 8 pounds. I hope you can tell. I had accepted that I wasn't going to lose that last 10. So I would do these journeys without weight being my intention. I had other intentions, finding purpose, being able to touch people's lives, in a positive way or whatever. So I want to encourage you, because I had lost 8 pounds, but then when I got on the scale today after running 6 miles, it seems like I've gained 2 of them back. But that's not real. Whatever's true is also not true. What's true is your body, when you get to a point that it's not used to, maybe you're eating less or working out more, or whatever it is you're doing to take those pounds off, your body doesn't know if you're starving or whatever. So it does things to protect you so that you can hold on to that fat a little bit longer. So if you're dying of thirst in a desert, your body is going to just change for you. That's how amazing your body is. That's why we're protecting this mind, body, spirit alignment. So it's only a plateau. I actually have a scale where you can see your body fat percentage as well. So I know that just because my body fat percentage has gone down, even though it went back up 2 pounds. So that's all good progress. Stick with it. Stick with it. Don't be discouraged. The only reason we don't have what we want is we give up. We give up too easily. We give up. I'm looking for a job. I don't get it for whatever. And I'm like, now I'm depressed. Why are you depressed? The right job's still coming to you. We give up. We emotionally give up. Oh man, I lost 5 pounds, but I want to lose 20, and now I can't seem to break this barrier. So give me the chips. Don't give up. It's your persistence. It's your consistency. It's your belief and understanding that it's not just about the pounds on the scale. It's about how good you feel. It's about how good you look, because now you're glowing. I've been having some great one-on-one sessions with people doing this right now. And you guys, I'm so amazed and just proud of the work that we're doing here together. People have lost weight. People have a better understanding, are experiencing calm, or, have started to meditate consistently and just say it just makes their whole day better. This is what we're talking. This is how you improve your life. This is how, when you do this, you improve everything, all of your relationships, because now you're just a beauty, a vision of just like a glow, and an understanding. And you don't let that tightness, all this racist stuff that's going on, it's maddening. Back off the current so much. You don't need to see it all to know it. You know it's true. Now, what do you do with it? I want you to think, transmute any negative energy into positive energy. It's okay not to be mad. I said, for all the things that I've gone through that have gotten me to this place in my life, I'm mad about what's going on. I mean, I feel the pain that everyone else has going through, but I am not going to let it drag me down into a deep depression, because I already see the other side, y'all. We're making some major changes now. The protests are still going on now. It hasn't even been, or has it been, a full 2 weeks, May 25th. So since Mr. Floyd. So we've got a March on Washington, August 28th. I'll see some of y'all there. I'll be there. So with all of that, I wanted to make sure we address the body, because this is mind, body, spirit alignment. We're going to go much more into the mind, the mindset, and how kindness and gratitude is a game changer. I call it the highway. It is the magical elixir. Use your creativity. It's that drink, that magic potion, or just that pathway that will set you in alignment with your spirit, and to the God within you, to the light within you, that then opens the way of infinite possibilities, so that you can also receive the blessings that are coming to you. Sometimes I talk about it, we pray to God or at God without any real feeling behind it, without heart, without spirit. Lord, fix this. When am I going to stop suffering? No. When you sit in stillness, and when you do these things, and when you're in service, and that kindness and gratitude, things come to you. Even though other people see your situation, they think it's bad. So with that, Evan Campbell is speaking today for the next 30 minutes, and there will be 10 or so minutes afterwards, and we will stay on if it goes longer, because people tend to like it when Evan speaks. 10 years ago, this month, my kids were in a car accident. It was a rollover accident. They were coming to stay with me for the summer in Louisville from Cincinnati, where they lived during the week and during the school year with their dad. And they were taking the exit where we were meeting halfway, and the car clipped the car in front of them, and they rolled over. And my daughter was able to get out. She was driving through the sunroof, and Evan was stuck in there. And I don't even know if he has pictures, but maybe while he's talking, I might pull some up. But it was crushed. Hence, he has a C4, C5 broken neck, basically, injury that's severed his spinal cord. The higher the injury, the higher, the more the level of paralysis. So you will see him, he likes to talk with his hands and his arms. So you're like, oh, quadriplegic, I thought you couldn't move. So he can't use his hands. Well, he can, he'll tell you about it. He can use it in his way, but he doesn't have the mobility that we have. And so he's really sort of paralyzed, like from the chest down. And so he has been in a motorized wheelchair for 10 years. He was 15 when this happened. He just turned 15. His birthday is in May. He just turned 25. So essentially he's 14, but he's 15. He finished high school on time. He went to college at Wright State. He finished college on time. He has started his own business, Royal Perceptions, a partnership with a couple of other of his frat brothers he pledged while he was in college. He works with me. His company works with my company. I call him my right-hand man. He does web management, my websites, and digital design. He helps with social media. He's completing his master's now in IDDL, Instructional Digital Design and Learning. How perfect is that for the world we live in now? God can just take things, was it Psalm 23, and place the table before your enemies, where they thought, you thought he might have been destroyed from being paralyzed and quadriplegic. He's 25. He's got his own house, which I think it's been a year and a half, maybe just a year. He moved in because we had to do some conversions. He moved in May of last year. He's been living independently for a year. I could go on and on and on, but Evan he's super supportive of me in every way. Even though I'm his mother, I get on him sometimes still. Sometimes it's hard to break away between work and other stuff. I'm like, come on, Evan. But he hangs in there. And because he can trust me, because I was in that hospital with him for 3 months, right? I left my job. I was never more singularly focused. I was so depressed and distressed for the pain of my children that at first I thought I just wasn't going to make it. There were so many other things going on. My boss was a racist. I was going through a divorce, and now my kids are hurt. But he needed me more than anyone else, and I was able to. So when you're in service, you can do different things. So I'm going to stop talking now. I gave the introduction, and I just know it by heart because we lived this. So Evan, please come on camera now. You feel good, don't you? Look at that face. Look at that smile, y'all.
Yeah.
That guy
Talk
there.
me up all, you know.
I
Got a
know,
big head.
I know. And you're looking good. You're looking good. So Evan Campbell is presenting kindness and gratitude as one of the 7 intentions for how to overcome anything in your life, remarkable wellness. And I'm going to try to moderate in the background. So y'all pray for me. Go on, Evan. Do your thing.
All right. Well, hey everybody. I'm very glad to be here. First and foremost, um, I'm talking about kindness and gratitude, and the reason why my mom has me do this one is because kindness and gratitude is kind of like my secret sauce. It's what's kind of helped me get through a lot in life. Ever since the accident. So after the accident, I spent 3 months in the hospital going through rehab, breathing it. When I first woke up, I couldn't move my dominant hand. I couldn't move my legs. I had a collapsed lung, pneumonia. They had to put a trach in my throat so that I could breathe, and that meant that I couldn't eat, I couldn't drink, I couldn't speak. So I was just being in bed all day thinking about all the things that went wrong. Mom and dad's crying, sisters crying, people wondering if I'm going to live. And it was a really, really rough time. And definitely got depressed, definitely was down. Not something I'd wish on my worst enemy. I always remember my dad told me that, this is just going to have to be our new normal. It's something that we have to adjust to. It's something that we just have to figure out, but it doesn't stop. I was blessed enough that I still had my mind, and that's one of the most important things. Your mind is far stronger than you give it credit for. And, a body without a mind isn't much, but a mind with a body is still able to accomplish more than you know. So kindness and gratitude is what's allowed me to really push past my limitations and my circumstances, because I look around at people who are in situations similar to mine, and a lot of times I see that they get depressed, they stop wanting to be who they are, or they don't want to go out, they don't want to be with friends. They're always too worried about, how can I do this, how can I do that, people will look at me weird, or no one want to see me out there. And what they realize is that they're their own enemy. um, I will tell you that I refuse to let this wheelchair stop me. And by going out and by trying to still talk to people, still be social, still be who I am, still try to live life, I've been able to do more than I ever thought I would. I find myself surprised all the time, just because when you are grateful for people around you that continue to treat you as you are in a situation like mine, um, doors open up left and right, and constantly have been for me since the accident. I can tell you that kindness and gratitude, it can be kind of hard, but it is like my mom said, a mindset shift. When I think about the journey from the hospital to high school to college, there's a lot of things that I could dwell on. That summer in the hospital, I can think about all the things I couldn't do, or I could think about all the steps that I made to get better. I could think about how my family came from far and wide across the country in every direction, family and friends, to come see me in the hospital, come hang out with me, stay with me for a night. I don't think I've ever had a summer where I saw literally everyone close to me. I do mean everyone. And that to me was amazing, because I can't personally think of anybody who has that much love in their family. That both sides, mom and dad. Um, I'm lucky to have a family that no matter when I'm with them, I know I'm gonna be laughing. I'm gonna eat some good food. I know I'm gonna have a good time, some deep, insightful conversations. I'm gonna learn something from somebody. You know, I know for a fact that not everybody has that, and that is why I know I'm blessed. And that's exactly what gratitude is. It's thinking about those things and how blessed you are, and it helps you fight all the negative emotions that start to come in, because it's hard to be depressed. It's hard to be upset when you're grateful. It's, not too many people say thank you with a frown on their face. It's a very hard thing to do. And if you can shift your mind to those things, you can constantly keep yourself from falling into traps where you're always depressed, you're always anxious, you're always stressed, always worried. Going back to high school, I still had my friends. I had all types of teachers who were helping me, tutoring me, and made sure that I graduated with high honors on time, going to summer school. My mom was there for me. My dad was there for me. I had such a support system that at no point did my physical limitations hold me back from accomplishing all that I set out to do. And the same went forward, even going into college. I went to Wright State. I found a place that, Wright State's one of the best schools in the country for people with disabilities. And very scary for me, just because it would be the first time where I would go somewhere and people were meeting me in a wheelchair first. When I had the accident and I went back to high school, everybody knew me before I was ever in a wheelchair. So it was a little bit easier. Now, for the first time, I'm making friends and meeting people, and they have no idea what life was like for me before or even right after the accident, when there were still so many things were new and I was still trying to learn and figure things out. In college, I was able to find so many friends that always helped me and was always ready to be by my side in ways that would surprise me. So, for instance, I have to cath myself to use the bathroom. Requires a little bit of work, but at the time, I didn't know how to do it myself. And it required me to drive all the way across campus in my wheelchair and get to the student union where they had a PA station where they would help me myself. About 2 weeks into the school year, my friends kept asking me, why is it that I kept going to campus before we went anywhere? It's like, oh, you want to go out to dinner? Yeah, I'll be back in about 20 minutes. We roll over to campus. I'll be back. And they were like, what is it? What are you doing? I straight up told them, like, look, I got to cath myself. I got to do this. It's right here in the stomach. And, I didn't want to ask you guys because I didn't know how you feel about it. And they looked at me like I was crazy. They're like, what are you talking about? We can do that, no problem. Like, what? And that changed everything, being able to go out with them and they'd be able to help me. I go to club parties, we take trips, visit family, and all these different things. All these experience I had because the people around me were so kind and they always knew that I was grateful. And if you haven't had the chance to read my mom's book, if you look at her at the section with all the intentions and the one for kindness and gratitude, she'll tell you that kindness is the physical expression of gratitude. It's hard to appreciate someone and to be appreciated and still be sour and still be angry or still be depressed. It's extremely hard. And I know I'm saying this, and I don't want to make it sound like it's easy, because it's not. But what it is it's simple. And I know the difference isn't always so apparent, but about anything in life, you learn almost everything you need as a child. It's sharing is caring. It's treat others as you want them to treat you. They're very simple lessons that'll carry you throughout life. It doesn't make them easy. Eating, mindful eating well, and if you want to be healthy, you got to eat right and you got to diet. That's two things. Simple, but it's not necessarily easy to find the time to exercise. Not always easy to go to the grocery store and pick out the right ingredients, especially when they cost more. Doing these things aren't easy, but and it's what helps you in your life to keep moving forward. And what you'll see with kindness and gratitude, like she said, is that it's that law of attraction. It's what you put out is what you get back. I always want to do my best to treat people right, to make sure that they know I appreciate their help, and that's always been able to open up doors for me. I was lucky enough that I was able to go to the International Center for Spinal Cord Injuries, and when I was there, working with all the different therapists and all the other patients, they enjoyed me being there so much that they offered a chance for me to take a recreational trip. And I got the chance to go to Colorado, all expenses paid. And I thought I'd be skiing on a mountain, which, again, never thought when I had my accident that I would one day be skiing on a mountain. But when I got there, I was a little bit too big to ski. They said, I figured, I was like, oh, I guess, I just will be rolling around this week. And they said, no, 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 no. We brought you here. We're going to figure something out. And when I tell you I had a blast that week, I had experiences that I will never forget. I dog sledded on the side of a mountain. Now, I can tell you, even before my accident, I never thought that was going to happen. Dog sledding on the side of a mountain, try it. It's fun. And I was horse sledding up a mountain, ate at great restaurants. I met so many people, and I had a blast. All of it was off of their kindness. That was possible without their kindness. Me making it through college and having the time I had, it's not possible without the kindness of others. Heck, I can't even get in a bed without nurses. Like, every day I need nurses to help me get dressed and use the bathroom and get in and out of. That's still off of their kindness and making sure that I find people that are good people around me that are and that I show them that type of appreciation. Because when you put it out there, it just comes back in space. It's really a wonderful balance about life that it's a universal law, and you can find it everywhere. Science, math, religion, always something about balance. Whether you call it the law of attraction, Newton's third law, what would Jesus do, Confucius rule. It exists all over the world because it is a universal truth. So when you're looking to see how can I get through this bad day, how do I get through these bad times, especially now when you think about the world, and everything that we're going through. I mean, we're protesting all across the world, George Floyd. We're protesting for real change. We could focus on how heinous that was, how that murder was committed, how this life is lost, and that can put you in a total different headspace than if you focus on all that's going to come out of it, all of the change that comes out of it, all the lives that will be made better by all these people getting up and getting out, doing what they're doing. Heck, I mean, even if you look, I don't know if any of you saw, but George Floyd's daughter said that her daddy changed the world. She's 6. I'm gonna let that sink in for a second. She's 6, and her father was murdered, and she said her daddy changed the world. That's the mindset shift you have to have. I can tell you, being in a wheelchair, it's not fun. It sucks. It's not at all easy. But my mom's happy. My son's happy. My dad's happy. We're alive. We're healthy. I have a house, a car, an education, friends. I've dated. I haven't really. I can't say that the big things, the things that matter, things that we all look forward to be fulfilled, to be happy, I've never gone without them. And I could have, just simply by dwelling on a situation that I can't even change. I mean, and that's what people a lot of times tend to struggle with. If you think about the 5 stages of grief, you have denial, anger, negotiation, depression, and acceptance. Personally, I like to skip over denial, get a little angry, and then dilly dally my way right on over to acceptance. Because when you realize these things, when you have kindness and gratitude, when you are aware that life will be rough, that life is hard, life isn't fair, and life won't give you everything you want, you realize the bigger picture, and it keeps you grounded. So I don't, when bad things happen, I don't even have denying it. Not even, I don't even approach that step. I get a little angry. You're going to get angry. You got to feel that. This is the difference between pain and suffering. Like she said, you're going to be in that moment. You should feel that. Anger is best used as a fuel. If you let it consume, if you let it be what leads you, it doesn't get you anywhere. It drives people away from you. No one wants to help the angry person. No one wants to be around the angry person. No one wants to be kind and open up and extend a hand and opportunity to the person. So it has its place as all the people out protesting, all the people out rioting. Those people got angry, and that anger going to create change. But you have to be very cognizant about what you do with it. What do you let it when it comes? Do you recognize it, or do you just start moving? Do you get angry at other people? Do you take your anger out on other people? Do you allow your anger to bring down someone else's day, or do you sit back and you think, what can I do differently? Like, can I? What is it about the situation? What is it? Why am I here? What is going on? Okay, what can I do differently? What can I change? And that's when you start to reach the acceptance and say, all right, bad things happen, bad thing happened. What can I do? These are my options, and let me move forward and take care. And when you start doing that and you get used to recognizing these signs, into that awareness, that mindset shift, then you start realizing there's so many more blessings around you. There's so much more for you to reach out and grasp. I mean, I can tell you that there are mornings where I wake up and there is no nurse here. None. I wake up in the morning looking around, yelling out, hey, hello. Now, does it help for me to deny that situation? Oh, who am I supposed to negotiate with? Where will depression? Now, I'll be angry, of course, because in that moment, you got to feel that. You got to. But it's time to accept it and do what I need to do to get myself out of bed. I need to make some calls. I need to figure out who's around, who's available. I need to, figure out what needs to happen next. That's the only to take. I don't have time to waste on all of these negative emotions blocking me from moving forward. And when you get held back, you don't understand how much it starts to compound. Depression gets worse when you stay inside. Depression gets worse when you don't talk to someone that you love. Depression gets worse when you're not eating right. Depression gets worse when you're not taking the time to really sit with thoughts and feelings. It just compounds. It gets more and more and more. So you have to, in those moments, break it down. You have to say, hey, having one of those days, oh man, I'm a little depressed. You know what? It's time for me to go take a walk. Let me go get water, get an apple. Let me do something to get me out of this. Let me be thankful. Hey, I at least have a roof over my head. I can't afford to go out to eat at the nice restaurant, but hey, I'm glad I at least got some food in my fridge to eat. It's stop worrying about those things that can't change. You got to ask God to help you accept what you can change and to to do what you can to affect your situation. You can't control the outside world. It's like you can't just be yelling at the sky because it's raining. It's going to rain. What you can do is go get yourself an umbrella and keep it pushing. So I say all this because it really can change the trajectory of your life. You know, you wake up, you have a bad mood, it changes everything. The moment you go outside and you need one thing done or another thing done, you know, say you're angry, you're trying to catch a cab, now your cab driver doesn't want to drive you. Now you're in a worse situation than you were before because you were angry, you were upset, you were mad, you were all types of negative in a situation that, you know, if you say, hey, I don't want to be angry, that's your choice. It's your choice. You know, things aren't going well for me. Let me be a little extra kind to somebody. Let me put something out in the world. Let me see what happens when I take this energy and put it towards something a lot more useful. Things are going bad out. Things are bad out right now. We're seeing cops do all these different things. I'm gonna take this energy and I'm gonna head my happy self down the road today and I'm gonna go protest. And we're gonna change the world. So that hopefully one day when I have kids far down the road, far down the road, that they'll be able to grow up and they won't have all this anxiety about just being Black in America and worrying about whether or not if they're driving, a cop will come by and hem them up and put them in some sort of situation. If I sit around and I'm not doing anything with that energy, it consumes you. It'll break you down, just make you cry, it'll make you hurt. But there's so much more. There's so much more. And again, it comes back to that balance that you want to have in your life. What do you want? Do you want kindness from people? Do you want good things to happen? That doesn't happen by being stuck in situations that you can't change. That comes with being aware of all those feelings as they happen. It comes from being aware in the moment. So I just wanted to make sure that, you know, I touched on all these points because, especially with everything going on today, especially with the way that people eat, the way that people exercise, we allow those things to eat at us. And I just want to make sure you know that it's your choice. It's yours. What are you going to think about? Are you going to think about everything that's wrong? Are you going to think about everything that? Are you going to focus on what you don't have? Or are you going to celebrate what you do have? And I promise you, it'll take you into a whole new realm of possibilities, take you into a whole new field of opportunities. You'll see doors open up before you that you weren't even prepared. Like, wait, you're around, somebody's offering to do X, Y, and Z. I mean, I can't even count on my hands and toes how many times someone just off of being kind has allowed me to have opportunity. I've been to box seats at baseball games behind home plate. I've been to concerts, sat in the fancy seats. I've gotten to take great trips. I've had teachers take their time to come to my house and help me and tutor me and make sure all these things off of kindness. And that kindness comes from gratitude. So I think that about most what I wanted to say. I want to make sure I leave enough time for people with questions. I know a lot of times people have a lot of different questions. So
Evan, thank you. I'm trying not to be emotional. So I have a couple of questions for you. Tell me the 5 stages again, because I only caught 4 of them. It was 5
stages of grief are, let me double check: denial, anger, bargaining or negotiation, depression, and then acceptance.
Okay. I like how you said that. I have my own formula, but I like that. You said you don't dilly-dally around with denial. You might just get straight to anger. And Evan has, and I have it in the book as a quote, it's not, it's simple, but it's not easy. So write that down. It's in the book if you haven't read it. So that's a very good one. So I'm gonna ask you a couple quick, simple questions, and you guys, I see one hand has been raised since the beginning, and we're gonna let you go through these questions, but I want to ask a couple. I want people to know because they don't even know that you were in the hospital 4 times last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
major stays. Okay, at one time was threatening dialysis. He's making it look easy, but we go through some things. He goes through some things, and then I'm his mom. So
I mean, and again, that mindset shift. I mean, I think the last time we did this, you asked me how many times in the hospital, and I couldn't even think of all of them because I don't I don't dwell on those type of things. You know, there's 1,000 bad things happen a year. I don't dwell on them because it's only keep you in that bad place. You cannot move forward in life dwelling on all the bad that happens. All the good that happens in your life that has happened is something for you to be grateful for, to use that as an energy to springboard onto what's coming next.
yeah, and so I've learned because so he's always that's just the hospital stays. I talked to him yesterday. He was like, "Yeah, I was just coming back from the doctor," and I was like, I had talked to him about some other stuff that hadn't happened. And then I was like, now what were you at the doctor for? So that's growth on my part because I used to couldn't sleep at night. And then he was like, oh, you know, my toe or my this or that UTI. So he's going to the doctor all the time. But people don't see that. People don't know that. So, okay, I want to, oh, good, we have a good time. Who told you life wasn't fair?
Oh, you. Yeah. Way back when. I don't even know what it was, but I know it stuck with me because I was like, you're right. That whatever it was, it really wasn't fair what it happened. But I was like, all right, life ain't fair. Like life doesn't owe you anything.
Well before the accident, when they were kids, and they'd be like, well, that's not fair. He did that. She did that. Who told you life was fair? Life is not fair. It's not. You do your best to be a fair participant in it. But trust me, other stuff's going to happen. Life is not fair. And he used to always say, my mom always taught me life is not fair. You didn't say that today, but don't coddle your kids. Life ain't fair. And we're singing it today. And the most people were like, oh my goodness, this is just, no, you knew life wasn't fair. And your parents taught you life was fair. Who are you? You must be privileged. Okay, so I want
to control nothing. You can't control nothing. It's like asking the weather to work out for you that day. Hey, life ain't things happen. Life ain't fair. Gravity's real. Things will fall. Things will break.
Yes. Yeah.
Whether you gonna get up or not.
Now I just want to keep it real. Like you listening to you is very inspiring, but you know, no buts. And there have been times that some things have happened that have kicked you down, but you've recovered. And I want to bring up one that sticks out with me because that was the only time, maybe it was the first time, maybe the only time I've heard you say it, that you lost faith in humanity that day. It was your freshman year. Do you remember?
College?
Yeah. You were in your dorm room.
What was it?
And you fell over in your chair.
Oh man. Yeah, no, that's rough. So like my mom said, with quadriplegia, you don't have full use of your muscles and full strength and everything. And one day I had just exhausted my ab muscle and I fell forward in my lap, which is like a stress position. So it's very hard to breathe. I kept trying to push myself up. I could not get myself up. And so I was in my dorm room, which anybody who's ever been in a dorm knows that it's not exactly hard to hear through these walls. And I swear screaming out for help for like half an hour. And what made me even madder than that was there was someone in my bathroom, which I shared with my roommate, and it was workers. I could hear their conversation clear as day. There's no way they did not hear me screaming for help. If I can hear your conversation like you're talking right next to me, you can hear me screaming for help. And they did not help. And it wasn't until my friend who lived next to me finally got back from classes and heard me screaming that he went and got somebody and helped me. I was like, ugh, that was a rough one. But even in that situation, I mean, if you focus on the guy who didn't help, yeah, I guess you could stay on the stuck and it sucks. But I like to focus on the fact that I had an awesome friend that lived next to me that came down and helped me. It's where you want to put your mind on.
Yeah.
So
And when I talked to him that day, and I can always tell from his eyes when I see him or his voice, because he's usually all handsome and smiling like he is today, but it's so he's healthy and fine at this moment, I can tell. But I can tell when he's not doing well. And when I heard him that day, and he said, I think I lost some faith in humankind today. It was more than that. I was like 90 minutes, and that's dangerous. It's really life threatening, actually. And so we thank God. We thank God for you, Evan. So I am going to, I had a couple other questions, but I see some coming through. So I'm going to, why don't you, can you get in the, so I also want y'all to tell you guys, Evan he uses technology great, which is why he's so good in digital and everything. His computer is in his lap, which is why it's a little shaky. But so he uses computers. He had people with iPads, his phone, so he's able to use his knuckles and things. So he types up stuff for me. He posts things for me, even though he stretch your hands out, Evan. Even though he makes the most, that's how he does things. He said he's so funny. He was like, "I'm giving you a thumbs up right now." I'm like, "I can't take you, man. I can't take you."
I mean, you gotta have a good sense of humor about it. I tell anybody I love a great wheelchair. I don't even know sometimes when I'm being funny. We were at the doctor's office back in December, and a man told me he liked my shoes. He said, "Did you get those for Christmas?" I was like, "No, actually, these for years. I just don't walk, so they don't get dirty." He was like, "Oh man, don't do it to me." I was like, my man, I know. Like,
Okay, I'm going to step back because I do see some questions now. I just wanted to get that going because you make it look easy, but people got to know that's how good you do it. That's because of this kindness and gratitude and how you're so zen, how you live your life. I love you. So I'm going to go off, and I think you can see the chat just as good as I can. I think I saw the first question, and you're getting a lot of, like, Sherry says, "This is incredible. I needed to hear this." Delia asks, and you guys can raise, I see 2 hands raised. So let's go. Why don't you do the chat first, and then we can do the hands. Do you want to do it, or you want me to do it? Because I can go off.
I can do it.
Okay, I'm going off. You got the rest of it.
So, they said, when did you become aware that you adopted the mindset of kindness and gratitude? Honestly, I think it probably goes back to being in the hospital even early on. It's reality. It was my new normal. It's the reality. There's nothing that I can't make it through a day without help. And you have to be kind. You can't expect help from people if you're gonna be a sourpuss or if you're gonna be mean. And I've seen people who, when they get into a situation like this, because they are depressed or because they are upset, they take their anger out on their caretakers, and I mean, that's not fair. And I mean, and you can honestly ask my parents too. I've never really been the type to be able to hold on to a lot of negative emotions. Like, I can't hold a grudge worth a damn. I'm the type of person, a night's sleep, 2 nights sleep, I'm good. Like, you ask anybody in my life, they've only seen me angry, like angry enough to yell at somebody or angry and enough to just be like fuming. Like, it's a rare thing. They'll tell you themselves. They only ever seen it. Shoot, I asked my mom about this like 2 years ago or something, a few years ago, when I got angry at a friend and everybody was looking at me crazy. They're like, "I've never seen that." I asked my mom, I was like, "How many times have you seen me angry?" She's like, 2, 3 times ever, maybe. It's just, it's always, I've never seen anger accomplish anything if it wasn't used for fuel to go get something done. Just being angry has never gotten anyone anywhere. I mean, they have anger management. They don't have like happy management. So let's see.
I gotta use
Any
that.
advice?
Anger management, not happy management. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there is no limit on being happy, but there is definitely limits you got to put on being angry. Let's see. John said, any advice on how to deal with negative energy from friends to family members, how do you keep them from draining your positivity? Um, I think you definitely should manage anybody around you that is a constant source of negativity. Um, at a certain point, you have to question whether or not that's healthy just to be in your life. I'm fortunate I don't have anybody who is a constant source of negativity in my life. If they are, I tend to just remove them. If they, but luckily that's never happened with a close family or friend. I think at the same time, you also have to do your part to kind of help them not be negative. Again, like I said, it's hard when someone's appreciating you to be upset. When somebody says I appreciate you, it's hard to let them and just be like, nah, you're still be mad. It's a very hard thing. We're not wired for that. So as much as you can, helping them, trying to see why they're negative, and helping them out of it. Again, depression is easy because it sits in and it'll get at you. But if you're not exercising, if you're not right, if you're not, if you don't laugh every day, if you don't tell someone you love them, or have someone tell them, or have someone tell you that they love you, it's very easy to get caught in those negative emotions and stay in those negative emotions. So you have to do the work to yourself or others out of it as much as you can. Let's see. Keep scrolling through. All right. I see Dillie's is up, so
Howdy, can you hear me?
Yep. Hey, how you doing?
Howdy, I'm fine, thank you. So I had another question. I would have asked both questions, but I forgot we could raise our hand. So my second question is, so first of all, this has been amazing, very amazing. I got a lot of takeaways.
Thank you.
Um, my favorite one you said was you can't yell at the sky because it's going to rain. Get yourself an umbrella and keep it pushing. I love that. You will hear that again somewhere. Um, so when you feel triggered, like how do you address that? So you're still human, and as much as a happy bunny you are. So when you feel triggered, like how do you manage that? And triggered meaning like whatever that means to you.
Well, I have a couple things that I do. I like a good scream. I'll grab a pillow and just scream right into that because, like I said, that anger is fuel. It is energy. It just same way it is in the car. If you mishandle that fuel, and if you mishandle that fuel, it blows up. It's an explosion. So you do have to get that out. So you do have to express yourself, and people do that in a number of different ways. I also like rapping. That's one thing I like to do. Is something that it's the way I express myself. Just gets that energy out. Whether some people like to go work out, some people like to exercise. So definitely feel that emotion. Don't try to bottle it up. Don't try to push it aside. Feel it, let it out. When you feel it, take that moment to yourself. Also, I personally, I like a nice hot shower, which I
Mm-hmm.
always take a hot shower at the end of the day before I go to bed. It's usually where I do kind of like my meditation time. I turn off the lights. I'm just sitting in the shower, let the hot water run over me, kind of wash the bad day away, and know that there's another day coming where I can do whatever I need to do. There are some days where things happen and I'm like, today's a wash. I'm pretty much done with today. I'm shutting work down. I'm shutting the laptop down. I'm gonna go chill. I'm gonna go get me some comfort food. Take me a shower tonight. I'm gonna go to sleep and I'm gonna come back at it tomorrow. But the best thing you can do um, is to not push it away and to really just let yourself trigger. I mean, just take the moment, be angry, and then once you've done that, realize, all right, it's done with being angry. It's time to do whatever you're angry about. There's probably something you to do at that point. If you fail a test, it's time for you to study more. If you didn't get the job you want, it's time for you to go back out and look for a better job, for another job that's right. Whenever you're angry, it's as much as it's fuel, it's also an alarm for something that you need to change the circumstances so that you're not angry again.
Thank you. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much.
So I also see Ali as her hand. Hey, Ali.
Hi. I
How are
just
you doing?
wanted to say I'm doing great and I don't have a question. I just
Oh,
wanted to say what I felt was king. Thank you.
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Were there any other questions?
So Evan, I'm just going to just say how proud I am of you, which I say all the time. So in between getting on you for other stuff. So we're real honest. I do in this, oh, it's 3:01, so this is perfect timing, but I want to make sure that the comments, people are saying this is incredible. Sherry said she needed to hear this today. Tan says, absolutely beautiful testimony and life-changing. God is good. A lot of laughs, LOLs, and XOXO. Sonia loves you so much. Sonia says she prays for you every day since the accident happened. I remember she and Kenny showed up there.
Hey.
Abby says you're very inspiring. Oh, and here's a good one for me. I'm such a mom. I'm going to take that as a good way. I don't know how you meant it, Delia, but I'm going to take it good. So we are at the end. Thank you, hon. We're at the end of today. I hope you were as blessed. I am blessed to have all of you. Take this out into the streets. Let's go make change. Evan can do it. You can do it. I can do it. We can all do it. God is good. There's always, I'm telling you, there's going to be another hospital visit. There's going to be another. We're still claiming that he's going to walk. We didn't have enough time to even talk about the stuff that's going to happen in the future. But what we're dealing with in the world, let this just be a metaphor. It's not even a metaphor because it's real, right? But use this, hopefully, kindness and gratitude. Forget about the anger and exhaustion. No, don't forget it. Accept it. Screaming to the pillow is what I heard Evan say. Then skip on right on to negotiation and then the acceptance. I like that. I'm going to have to use that too. I love you all. Thank you. See you next week. Sonia says that Evan would do an amazing job. What a powerful testament for how God can use you and that he covers you. He does. He does. You would think being paralyzed, isn't that everyone's worst fear? Aside from death, maybe. But this guy, all right, I love you all.
Not around stairs, it's not that bad.
What'd you say? It's not that bad.
When I'm not around stairs, it's not that bad.
He's got 1 million of them, y'all. He's got 1 million of them. Love
Told
you.
you I have to do it.
Love and light, everyone. Until next week. If you haven't set up your coaching sessions, do it now because we're at the end of our journey, but it's the beginning of yours. So love and light. Love you, Evan. Thank you, babe.